Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. My name is Laurent and today I'm going to be showing you how I made these custom wooden chopsticks. Now, it's no secret that I love sushi. Back when I used to do my Overwatch live streams, I would buy family packs of sushi from the supermarket and devour them throughout my gaming sessions. It's pretty shameless, I know, but sushi is just that delicious. And for me, using chopsticks has always been a fun part of the experience. The challenge makes every bite just that much more satisfying. It's like playing Operation with your food. It's just fun. And there's always something to be said about using wooden utensils in general. To get started on this project, I grabbed a nice piece of nagal, which I had recently used on my dad's mallet, as well as some knives I made earlier, and cut a length that felt reasonable with my Japanese pull saw. I didn't use many measurements in this project. Most of the time I just went off of what felt right in my hands. I marked a center line and split this piece into two so I could get two sets of chopsticks out of it. It was tough to get this line perfectly straight on our bandsaw, so I cleaned it up on the belt sander afterwards. From here, I took these two pieces to the table saw, using a box joint slide with just a few millimeters of the blade exposed. This allowed me to cut some recesses into the wood where I could inlay some zebra wood later on. You could also do this with some chisels. Then I cut these two pieces in half again, giving me 4 sticks with grooves already cut on 3 sides of them. I went back to the saw to cut the last groove on the chopsticks and clean up some of the earlier cuts to make sure it was all even. From here, I grabbed this really long piece of zebra wood, which was very thin at the end and looked perfect for inlay material, and I cut that section off and started marking out 16 small rectangles. I also marked a few extra ones just in case any split or cracked as I worked on them, which by the way turned out to be a good call. I cut them all out on the bandsaw, stacking them together to make it faster and more consistent, and then used some sandpaper to put a 45-degree angle on the smaller edges. From here, it's a matter of a bit more sanding to get it to a tight fit inside of the grooves, and gluing them into the recesses that we cut earlier. Once the glue dried, I took each one to the belt sander to flatten down each face. At this point, the inlay was looking very clean. I also used the belt sander to add a slight taper to each chopstick, to make it slightly thinner at the pinching end. Now, to be honest, the entire reason I originally came up with this project was I wanted to have a small, round project to get comfortable with my new lathe. However, these chopsticks are a lot longer than the length of my lathe and didn't fit really well in the 3-prong chuck. I still tried gluing some small dowel pieces to the end of each one to help get a better grip with the chuck, but without a tailstock, the end of the chopsticks were just too wobbly, and eventually the support piece I glued snapped off, so the lathe was again no-go on this project. I do eventually want to get this lathe working, it's working, I just need to get the right parts for it and figure out some projects that would actually fit inside of it, because that would be cool to do, but it's just not working out for me lately. Undefeated, I went back to the belt sander and kept shaping them. I brought the tips of the chopsticks to a nice rounded grip, keeping the butt of the sticks relatively square. I also added some bevels to the corners and the ends. Although it would have been nice to use the lathe, these did turn out pretty good regardless, and I'm still quite happy with how they're looking. From here, I hit each one with a coat of natural stain, which really helps bring out the colors in the wood. And then I rubbed in some finishing wax to give it a nice polished look. Now, ideally, you would want to use some food-safe stain and wax. However, I didn't have any on hand, and although both my stain and wax say poison right on the label, I'm not too worried. It's such a small amount that I would have to eat copious amounts of sushi to really hurt myself with these, and the sushi would probably hurt me a lot sooner than the chemicals in the wood. That's funny. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. I'm definitely excited to get some sushi later on this week to try them out, but I don't want to be the guy that walks into a sushi bar with my own chopsticks, so I should probably just eat in on that one. As always, you guys, if you have any feedback, be sure to hit up the comment section. I always love reading your guys' comments. It always gives me inspiration to keep making more videos and more stuff. That being said, you guys, have a fantastic day. I hope you go out and make something. Bye-bye.